The Richardson father, charged with murdering his adopted 3-year-old daughter, was granted a lower bond today. Wesley Mathews is in jail for capital murder and other counts related to the disappearance and cover-up of Sherin Mathews' death. He first reported the little girl missing after claiming he forced her to stand outside in the middle of the night as punishment for her not drinking milk. Then later claimed she choked on the milk and died while he tried to help her. Sherin's body was found in a drainage pipe 15 days after she was first reported missing. The official cause of death listed as homicidal violence. Fox 4's James Rose has covered this story extensively and was at today's bond hearing. James.
Well, Mathews has been in jail since he was indicted on the 3 additional charges last October, and given the testimony in court today, he'll likely remain in jail until he goes to trial on all 4 charges sometime next year. Appearing in handcuffs and jail stripes, Wesley Mathews sat quietly and emotionless as his lawyer argued for a bond reduction.
He was complying with his conditions of bond the first go-around, that there's no specific evidence that anybody has that he's a threat to anybody else. There's no specific evidence that the court has that he's a flight risk.
Mathews was initially free on a $250,000 bond for child abandonment before his lie was exposed and he was charged with 3 additional counts, including capital murder. Prosecutors told the judge again today Mathews lied to investigators from the beginning about what happened to his 3-year-old adopted daughter, Sherin. The lead Richardson detective took the stand, saying it was the most unique case of his career, and Mathews' lies made the investigation more complex.
This wasn't a random act against somebody in the public. This was his own daughter, so it's really limited, and I think that's what the judge is going to consider.
Defense attorney Pete Schulte, who's not involved with the case, says bonds are set based on a promise to appear in court.
He was out on bond before. He hasn't done anything to be violent towards the community while he was out on bond, and that's what really the judge is going to look at. Is he going to come to court, and is society going to be protected? Dallas County Judge Amber Givens Davis lowered Mathews' bond from $2.5 million to $1,350,000.
It's an unfortunate set of circumstances that occurred, and I know Mr. Mathews is looking forward to letting people know how he feels about everything when we have our trial.
Now, Mathews' attorney, seen there, Rafael De La Garza, says he respects the judge's decision on the new bond amount, and he'll see if his client can make that amount. There was testimony in court that it was difficult for Mathews to make the initial $250,000 bond, so it seems unlikely that he'd be able to make a bond that's now more than $1 million more. The DA's office does not plan to seek the death penalty. Steve?
All right, James, so today's court appearance was all about Mr. Mathews, Wesley Mathews. What about Sherin's mom's status, Sherin Mathews? What's her current status right now?
Well, Sherin Mathews remains in a Dallas County jail as well. Her bond is set at $250,000. She's charged with child abandonment for her role in Sherin's death and disappearance. In January of this year, both Sherin and Wesley voluntarily gave up their parental rights forever for their 4-year-old biological daughter.